Hello, my name's Angharad Rudkin, and I'm going to talk to you today about a book that Ruth Fitzgerald and I wrote together called Find Your Girl Squad. And it's a book all about friendships and what helps us to get through tricky times of friendships, and also what helps us to enjoy the really good times with our friends. And the things I'm going to talk to you today about are flexibility and acceptance. So I don't mean touch your toes flexibility. Oh my goodness, I can't get anywhere near my toes. I kind of hover around my knees. But what we're talking about instead of touch your toes flexibility is psychological flexibility. So the way we think and being flexible about that. And acceptance is, as it says in the tin, accepting ourselves and accepting others. So first things first, flexibility. What do we mean by that? So do you know when you go through life and sometimes unexpected things happen and sometimes things don't quite go according to plan? Sometimes they're nice surprises, sometimes they're horrible shocks. Well, these kinds of things mean that we have got to be psychologically flexible to deal with them. We have to be able to think, ooh, okay, wasn't quite the plan, but okay, I'll live with it. And that's what we need when it comes to friendships, because we can't control other people. We can't say to them, behave like this, do that, feel like this. We just can't. But what we can do is control ourselves. So when our friends start acting rather oddly, or something happens that is quite a shock to us, like you didn't get invited to Ella's birthday party, even though you thought you would have been, then that's where you need the flexibility. And the flexibility means being able to understand things don't always go according to our plan. So we have something called an all-or-nothing scale. Sometimes they call it black and white because they're opposing colours. So all or nothing means that sometimes we believe that unless we're here, we're here. So unless we're someone's best friend, we're a nothing friend. Or something is either absolutely amazing or awful. Think of Marmite. Do you like Marmite? People say it's a love-hate thing. So you either really love it or you really hate it. But when it comes to our day-to-day life and not Marmite, actually, most of our lives is somewhere in the middle. So no one is ever all brilliant or all awful. No friend is ever fantastic or terrible. Actually, we're all in the middle. Most of us are okay most of the time, but sometimes all of us can be selfish and rude and mean and tired and grumpy and ratty. So psychological flexibility means not getting stuck onto either of those ends and actually thinking to ourselves, I'm somewhere in the middle. It didn't quite go according to plan, but that doesn't mean that it's terrible. It just means that it's different to how I expected it to be. So that is psychological flexibility, living in that middle ground and not at these two opposing ends. And, you know, we don't live in the North Pole or the South Pole. I don't know, maybe you do. I don't. I live somewhere in the middle. And that's where we need to be with our thinking. So that is flexibility, almost as tricky as touching your toes, but not quite. Now, acceptance is linked to flexibility. Acceptance is being able to appreciate and love someone for who they are and what they are. Now, acceptance starts with yourself. If I accept me and I think to myself, you know what? I'm not all great, but I'm not all bad. I'm somewhere in that middle. And these are the things I really like about myself. And these are the things I'm not so pleased about myself. But actually, I love all of me. I accept me and I love all of me. And that is so important, because if you accept yourself, other people are going to accept yourself too, are going to accept you too. So you need to learn about what it is I like about myself, what it is I'd rather not have, whether it might be oddly shaped square toes or an ability to remember every single date, or not quite being able to touch peaches because you don't like the feel of them. Anything, whatever it is about you, you can accept that and think, okay, that's me. Once you've done that for yourself, you can then do it to other people. So in our book, Poppy has got a girl squad, which is causing her a few issues. And I won't tell you what happens by the end of the book, but part of her journey is to accept herself, but also to accept others. So there's a rather bossy character in the book, and Poppy has to learn to accept the fact that this character, Izzy, is just a bit of a bossy boots. And once we can accept others, it means we can then understand a little bit more how other people function. So this is the moral of the tale. Find your girl squad. Part of finding your girl squad is being flexible and understanding that life is rarely Marmite life. It's rarely love or hate. It is usually somewhere in the middle. And acceptability is about understanding that, appreciating what you have and who you are, and then also appreciating and accepting others. And understanding we're all different. Every single one of us is different. And thank goodness, because I, for one, wouldn't want a few million of me running around the world. So, and that's not because I'm no good, but because actually I've got my good bits and my bad bits. And what I really appreciate is everybody else's good bits and bad bits. So flexibility and acceptance. Give it a go and see how it changes your friendships. Bye for now.